any progress with that, or no?
What's that?
Did you see any progress when you did that, or not? No movement?
No progress at all.
Moving on now to the next troubleshooting option, having NASA astronaut Nicole Mann move over.
One more try before we have Duke come over to where Koichi is. We'll have her do that yawing motion, so going to her body left with her end of the strut. And then Koichi, on your end, if you can get in as good a body position as possible, stay stable, and use the pliers. You'll need both the needle nose pliers and the taped pliers. And we want you to be depressing both of those detents at the same time while Duke is doing her yawing motion.
Okay.
And Zena for EV1, TCV is at 1.
TCV at 1, copy.
The needle nose are below your right, like below your PTT. Now
PTT, okay.
Now they're underneath your mini workstation. They're just floating. They're not tangled. Now they're kind of on your left side.
Okay.
Looks like NASA astronaut Nicole Mann is going to stay put as they try one more thing. She's holding the other end of this mid-strut. If you look towards the top of your screen, you can see that one of her feet is inside of the portable foot restraint. So if she were to come over to Koichi, she would need to egress that, and then Mission Control has the path forward that they would like her to take, only if we reach that step.
So Zena, you meant I use the needle nose in place of one of the pliers, right?
Exactly.
Okay. DRT and I have many workstation and deflector locked.
Copy, Koichi.
It's a blind operation on one side. I can see one side clearly, but that doesn't allow me to look at the bottom side. But I think I can feel the plunger with the needle nose.
Okay, copy. If you're getting some good tactile feedback as best you can, that's the right move.
Stand by, I will have a better positioning of the tools.
And let me know and I can yaw some more.
Okay, just a moment.
Duke, for you, if we could have you hold the bolt canister rather than the bolt. Thank you.
Okay, I can do the I can feel the detent on the upper side, but hard to see the detent on the left
Okay,
side.
and I'm yawing left.
Okay, let me first let me handle the broken pliers. pliers that I don't mistakenly use that one. Gina, what's the plans with the damaged pliers? Can I just leave it outside? It's still taped, it's connected, so it doesn't go anywhere, but...
Copy. Yeah, we're concerned about a sharp edge there, so we just want it to be out of the way and be careful not to grab that end of the pliers, but understand it won't fit in your trash bag.
Right. I'm going to put it in partially in the trash bag so I don't accidentally touch it.
Copy. Sounds like a good plan.
And then I'm going to grab the other plier. Okay.
Good plan.
I grab the other plier. Okay.
To recap a little bit of what's going on, we're doing a lot of troubleshooting on how to get that mid-strut installed. It's part of this greater installation for this mod kit or support structure that they've started building back in January 20th to the outside of the space station. One of the maneuvers that they had attempted was to use his pliers, kind of like a crowbar sort of, to just kind of nudge that rectangle that he's working on into place. Unfortunately, it resulted in some broken pliers. It's very critical that our spacewalker, Koichi Wakata, does not touch any kind of sharp edge, so he has been working with Mission Control on how to properly stow that away into safety.
One side easily, but the other side is a blind operation.
Okay. Understand, Koichi. I think that's okay. No problem if you don't have both eyes on, but if you feel that the pliers are in the right spot, then I think we're good to give this a try.
This is the right spot.
And Duke, for you, we'll have you continue that slow, steady yawing motion. You may also do a gentle jostle in the pitch direction as you're continuing to apply a steady yaw pressure.
Copy. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
You heard our ground IV Xena Cardman talking to Duke. It's the call sign for Nicole Mann, our EV1 today.
Got stuck in, doesn't escape. Oh, now it's in.
Yeah.
Looks like it's upper side is in. Wow. Keep it there. Keep it there. Okay.
Great.
Wow, and then lower side is looks like it's in.
Okay.
Wow, that worked. Yeah? Lower side is in. Yeah. Awesome. Look, that was awesome.
And with a round of applause here in Mission Control and the teamwork of Nicole Mann and Koichi Wakata, they finally got the piece they've been working on to lay flush and soft docked.
Okay.
Tina, can I use the manual wrench socket? I can go M1, M3.
Stand by, Koichi.
Copy.
So you can think of this mid-strut that they're working on as a bit of a pole-shaped item with Nicole Mann on one side and Koichi Wakata on the other.
And you are going to start with M1 and M3. You'll want to be very gentle as you do this, minimizing any side loads because it is liable to pop off again. You'll be driving M1 and M3 approximately 2 turns, being extra cautious for cross-threading.
Copy that. I have the tool starting with M1. 2 turns.
Copy, Koichi. The solution that seemed to do the trick, as I was explaining, this is a cylindrical shaped item with an astronaut on either side of it. You're seeing the view of Koichi Wakata now, working with that silver box that he's been trying to lay flush against the mass canister. Nicole Mann was on the other side, and with their teamwork, she was able to take her side and kind of nudge it, wiggle it into place from her perspective, while Koichi laid it flat. And that was a solution that seemed to work.
M1, 2 turns complete. M3.
Copy, Koichi. And hey, Duke, for you, a heads up, we're getting ready for a night pass. And I know you have your TCV in 1, but if you want to do some wiggling and get warm, that's fine by us.
Copy. If he gets 2 turns on each, I'm going to go to M28, is that correct?
Affirm, Duke.
M1 and M3, 2 turns each, complete.
This is great news. 2 turns on M1 and M3. We've got lots of happy people down here. Okay, you'll be getting your PGT now. Setting Alpha 1, clockwise 1.
Koichi Wakata successfully soft-docked the mechanism that he's been working on, that mid-strut, the thing that you see going from the center of your screen all the way out to the right side. He's now working to drive the bolts into place.
Okay, PGT Alpha 1, clockwise 1 set.
Copy, Alpha 1, clockwise 1.
That device that you see in Koichi Wakata's hand, we're looking at his point of view now, the thing with the number 5 on it, that's the PGT, or the pistol grip tool. It's a battery-powered handheld tool, kind of similar to a drill, getting those bolts into place. You could see it in motion now.
M2, 4 turns complete, working on M4.
Copy and stand by, Koichi. All right, Koichi, and we'll have you go back to M1 and M3 with 2 additional turns using the PGT.
Okay, M1 and M3, 2 additional turns.
The numbers that Koichi Wakata and Zena Cardman are communicating from space and here on the ground are the torque and speed settings of this pistol grip tool that he's using in his hands now.
Two additional turns complete on M1, working on M3. Two additional turns complete on M3.
And we're coming up on a handover in 5 seconds.
We're in a handover period here. You're getting live views of Mission Control Houston, where teams just worked to troubleshoot some issues that they were having installing the mid-strut, the last piece of the support structure that they've been building for 2 EVAs now.
Okay, now do I continue on M2 or M4?
They got the part right into place, and now Koichi Wakata is working on drilling them all into place. Even though we worked on a number of troubleshooting solutions here today, we are not terribly behind schedule. And we're back with our live views as we approach the 2-hour, 30-minute mark of our spacewalk.
4 turns complete on M4.
Copy, 4 turns on M4, and I may have missed it in the handover. Did you get 2 additional on M1 and M3?
That's complete. M1 and M3, 2 additional turns complete.
Copy, okay, we have 4 turns on all 4 of those bolts. Okay, Duke, for you, you can get L8 to upper strut, the mid strut to the upper strut, L8, and you'll be setting your PGT to Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
Okay, I've got Bravo 1, clockwise 2 set.
Perfect. You'll be driving M28, about 6.5 to 9 turns, looking for black line flush. Koichi, for you, you'll be driving M1 to M4 to torque, an additional 3 to 8.5 turns or so. This is to torque, so you're looking for good green light.
Okay, 3 to 8 turns on all the 4 bolts. And is this PGT setting the same?
PGT settings are Alpha 2, clockwise 2.
Alpha 2, clockwise 2, 3 to 8 turns.
These directions again being the speed and torque settings of this pistol grip tool, as well as the direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. In this case, it will be clockwise.
Copy. On M1, I got a green light and torqued out 3.8 foot-pounds, and it's a 2.5 turns.
Copy. 2.5 turns additional on M1 and 2 foot-pounds. Correction, 2.8 foot-pounds on M1. Stand by.
That's 3.8.
Copy. 3.8
foot-pounds on M1. Green light.
Okay, thanks, Koichi. Stand by. Okay, we're good to have you continue with M2, M3, and M4.
Okay, any order?
Affirm.
Okay, copy, thank you. M3, you got a green light and torqued out 3.7 turns, 3.7 foot-pounds, 3 turns.
Copy. 3 turns and 3.7 foot-pounds on M3.
On M2, I got a green light, torqued out 3.7 pounds, and then 2 3/4 turns.
Copy. 2 3/4 turns, 3.7 foot-pounds on M2. We're checking on that bolt.
Okay, M28, I got 9 turns, green light, 11.9 on the torque.
Copy. 9 turns, 11.9, and green light for you, Duke. That's a good bolt. Koichi, you can continue as well.
Okay, copy that. Working on M4.
Duke, can you verify also that you've got black line flush?
Affirm, stand by. Yes, black line flush.
Great news. Okay, you can install the mid-strut grounding pit pin.
We got a green light and torqued out 3.6 foot-pounds, 3 turns.
Copy. 3.6 torque and 3 foot-pounds. Koichi, you can stow your PGT as well.
And it's so far so good on the installation of this mid-strut. Work continues tightening the bolts on it.
Yeah, the grounding pit pin washers did come above the defense, so I'm fixing that.
Copy, Duke.
Okay, they're good now.
And Zena, I verified the grounding pit pin is installed firmly on L1.
Perfect.
Okay, grounding pit pin installed.
Copy that, Duke. Koichi, you can release EV1's ret from the mid-strut handrail once your PGT is stowed.
Copy that. First, I'm going to unlock the ret.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
Okay, unlocked. Okay, can I give it to you now?
Yes, sir, I'm ready for it.
All right. You go.
Ready.
Oh, sorry, maybe it was locked again. Okay, it's unlocked. Here it goes.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
All right. Okay, Gina, what's next for me?
Next for you, Koichi, you can release the adjustable from the side pad tether point and stow it on your mini workstation. And then we'll be doing the MLI install.
Copy. Copy.
Duke, once you're good, we'll take a glove, hat, and gauntlet check from you.
So if you remember earlier during our spacewalk, our spacewalkers had worked to remove some of the MLI, the multi-layer insulation. It's that white covering that you see there. And now Koichi Wakata is working to install it back over the side pad. Meanwhile, here on the ground, they've asked our spacewalker Nicole Mann to perform a hap and gauntlet check. Hap being the pads that they wear in their helmets to avoid excess moisture. She's going to make sure that that's good and dry, as well as take a look at her gloves, check it out, make sure that there's no notable damage.
Okay, EV1 gloves are good. Hop is dry. Gauntlets are down.
Copy all, Duke.
And Zena, adjustable is removed from the side pad, installed on my mini workstation.
Copy, Koichi. We'll take a glove, hat, and gauntlet from you as well.
Okay, glove is good, hap is dry, and gauntlets are in place.
Okay, copy all.
Hey, Koichi, I'm looking at this left bundle. I don't see where you added. I don't see where you. Did you add a wire tie? I see the wire tie that's for the handrail. And the wire tie that's part of the integral to the that we installed on the bundle. Did you add an additional one?
I believe I added an additional one. Do you have a record, Zena? If I had an additional one attached
Checking.
on the previous EVA.
Now that the mid-strut installation is complete, they're going to move on to tightening the collar bolts. At the midpoint of the mid-strut, they're driven to rigidize the whole structure, and when the collar bolts are driven, they clamp down on this locking feature, and that has to be done before an aerobic can put weight on them.
All right, Koichi, we weren't tracking any wire tie removal, but we see you in a good config.
Okay, so Duke does not need to remove the or.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
Okay. I'm just tidying it up because of the tools that you needed for the site bed, and I'm putting them back in the PDA bag.
Copy. We see that in your HECA. I think that's a great plan. Once you're done with that, we'll have you work on the MLI on your end, and then we'll be working on the collar.
Okay.
We're in an orbital nighttime here on the International Space Station. That's why you get kind of a dark look with these headlamps that they've got on there as they continue their tasks. To kind of recap what's been done so far, they began their spacewalk at 6:45 a.m. Central. That's Koichi Wakata, whose point of view you're seeing on the right, and Nicole Mann, call sign Duke, on the left side. After exiting the hatch, they went over to their work sites and began work on the lower strut, part of the support structure that could one day hold an IROSA, a rollout solar array. This structure is needed to be built before these solar arrays can be installed. They began work on it back in January and are finishing up. So they began their work on the left strut, just one of the components that they needed to look at, and then they completely installed the mid strut. They did a couple of troubleshooting items to get them into the proper configuration that they needed, tried a couple of things, and finally got success. And now they're tightening the collar bolts all around the structure, rigidizing the whole thing so it can be load bearing, essentially can house a rollout solar array.
And Zena, for EV1 TCVs, back at 3.
Copy 3 on your TCV.
Okay, Zena, the tools in the TDA bag, I returned them in the TDA bag, and it's still attached to the long handrail.
Okay, copy, Koichi. We'll have you also work on the MLI there on your end and make sure that the MLI is going around that bolt.
Okay. It's over the bolt. integrated wire tie.
Copy, Koichi. That looks good to us.
Okay. Color bolt 482.
That'll be the next steps. Exactly, Koichi. Okay, we'll have you adjust your body position to reach the mid-strut collar. And while you're BRT'd to the mid-strut handrail, remember to avoid any torsional loads into the strut. And we'll have PGT settings when you're ready.
Copy that. Stand by.
Koichi Wakata now getting into the position to work on those collar bolts.
Okay, ready for the PGT settings for M29 and M30.
Okay, Koichi, that's Bravo 7, clockwise 2.
Bravo 7 set, clockwise 2 set.
Copy, Koichi. You'll be driving M30 and M29. Those are the collar bolts to torque. Expecting about 4 to 6 turns.
Okay, 4 to 6 turns to torque.
And the ground just communicated up to Koichi Wakata what his pistol grip tool settings should be, the torque and speed that he needs to drive these collar bolts. You can get a good view of what we're talking about here on your screen now if you want to take a look. Kind of in the middle of the screen you'll see this gray cylindrical shape. The one closest to the view is NASA astronaut Nicole Mann holding everything steady. Right in the middle we have our astronaut Koichi Wakata. He's working in the middle point of this mid-strut. That's where these collar bolts are. He needs to drive these in order to rigidize the whole structure so that one day this structure can hold solar arrays. This mod kit that he's working on launched with Northrop Grumman's 18th Commercial Resupply Services mission, delivered by the Cygnus cargo spacecraft back in November. And the IROSAs that will be attached to this mounting bracket will launch in a SpaceX Cargo Dragon cargo spacecraft during the company's 28th Commercial Resupply Services mission this summer.
On 29, I got a green light at torqued out, 3.5 turns, 25.3. Put down.
Copy. 3.5 turns, 25.3 on M29.
I'm going to work on the M30.
Stand by, Koichi. Okay, Koichi, yes, you can continue with M30.
Copy. Okay, M30 got a green light and torque down 25.6 foot-pounds, 4.5 turns.
Copy, 4.5 turns, 25.6 on M30. Stand by. Okay, Koichi, you can drive M29 to torque, about 4 to 6 turns until the MTL pops over. You'll be setting your PGT to manual ratchet.
Okay, so manual ratchet and 2 pops on M29.
Affirm. Just as a reminder, since we have the wobble socket, try to keep the PGT as inline as possible and minimize the wobble function of the wobble socket.
Copy that.
And Duke, are you all set with the cable routing there?
I'm all ready to go. Got it. I got Koichi's stuff still undone, and I've got it routed to the lower strut here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Retwist.
Work continues on this mid-strut as Koichi Wakata on your screen now is working towards the middle of the mid-strut, tightening these collars to rigidize the structure. The ground just asked Nicole Mann if she's ready to move on to her next step. She's not quite done here over at the mid-strut. She still has some work to do, helping Koichi out with the insulation. It needs to go back on before they're ready to step away from it. But after this task, she'll move on to route some cables.
Let me know if you think it would help if I hold your foot.
Yeah, let me try that. I think this is tightened, and then let me reorient my body toward, with my feet towards you.
Okay.
We like that suggestion, Koichi.
Okay. Getting away my... Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Does it feel good?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Down a little bit. Need to cut down a little bit more,
Down more?
but yeah. Okay, that's good.
You're going to be at the center of my reach if you're that far down now.
Okay, all right, then that's okay.
Okay, sorry.
I'll try that.
Koichi, you can also switch to the 2-inch rigid
You can hold on to your...
if that helps.
2-inch rigid. Okay, 2-inch rigid is all that.
You can also try to hold on to your D-ray extender if you want to give that one more try.
Okay, could you try that?
Yeah.
Could you hold my feet? Or
just hold on, let me get to you real quick. You come towards me just so I can grab a hold of that extender.
okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So let me try that now. One pop. 2 pops on 29.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
2 pops on 29.
Copy. 2 pops on M29.
And,
How many additional turns were you able to get?
I think it's about 1 turn.
Roughly 1 additional turn on M29. Okay, you can go to M30.
Okay, working on M30. Level 7 set clockwise. You set.
And this will still be in manual ratchet clockwise.
When you're hearing words like M29, M30, these refer to the bolts
Exactly.
that Koichi Wakata is
Now
working on
M29
tightening,
and M30 have been
and the
driven with
numbers
the
have to
PGT
do with
in
his
drive.
tool settings on just exactly how much he's tightening it.
Correct.
Looking for 2 pops on M30.
Okay. Okay. Copy. 1 pop. 2 pops on M30. It's probably about half turn.
Okay, 2 pops and about half an additional.
Half turn on M30. 2 pops.
Copy, Koichi. You can set your PGT back to motor and stow it.
Copy. Thank you, Duke, for your help.
All right, good job.
I appreciate it.
Duke, once Koichi's got his PGT stowed.
Up around your swing on. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, just swing your swing on, right? You see how your local's going to go across it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see that nice safety tether, but it's still my left, right?
Your safety tether, yeah, it's in between your legs right now, but once you move out, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Is it on my right side?
No. Stand by. Okay.
Great,
Put
thank
your
you.
feet down. It's off.
Okay, thank
Coming
you.
off your left side is in front of you now.
Okay, great, perfect. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Thank you, sir.
But your local coming from your right waist tether is now wrapped inside of your swing arm, so you just need to rotate to your left. Get your local out of the way.
Okay, just a moment. So local, this one, right?
Yeah.
So this is... So you're saying that I need to... Where is it going through? Is it...
You're just going to pin it when you close your swing arm with your PGT.
Oh, you're talking about PGT, okay.
There you go.
We're now about 3 hours into our spacewalk today, moving right down the checklist. Right out of the gate, they moved to work on the lower strut of the structure that they're building and completely installed the mid strut after a lot of troubleshooting back and forth here in Mission Control. And up outside the International Space Station, they were able to successfully install that, and they moved on to rigidize the structure or tighten the collar bolts in the middle of the mid-strut that they just built. They're still at it there. You can see it on the right side of your screen.
Good, this is good. Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right.
Okay, then,
We got the MLI. Don't forget the pit pin.
Next up on their checklist, that's what they're working on now. They're working on the multi-layer insulation. It was peeled back for installation, and now they just need to put it back. This insulation helps protect it from the vacuum of space. We're in a brief handover period now, so we're getting live views of Mission Control Houston.
you see the pit pin?
But yes,
Once you unroll the MLI, you should be able to see it. I already took it out of the touchstone location.
Oh, okay.
affirm and install that pip pin on the telescoping side of the strut in a small square boss near the collar.
Okay. I don't see it.
Maybe look up underneath.
Underneath the...
Not underneath the MLI. Just come from Mater and look up.
Mater, okay. Okay, it's on the other side.
Quick handover here. We'll be back with you in a couple seconds.
We expect to get our live views back shortly. Meanwhile, our spacewalkers continue working diligently on getting the insulation back over the mid-strut that they had just installed. Next up in their tasks, Nicole Mann is going to route some cables. She's going to send them on a path, making her way around the space station, not necessarily installing the cables, but kind of setting them up for success for a future spacewalk.
Right, then I'm going to wrap around here on the color bolt.
Back with you after a handover. And Koichi, were you able to get that pip pin installed?
I got the MLI.
Yeah, pit pin is installed, and we are working on the MLI.
MLI is around bolt 28, and we're tightening it up.
Perfect. That sounds great. You'll be fully closing it around the telescoping end of the strut and then installing the short wire ties around the MLI. Koichi, for you, you'll translate to the right mid-strut, going outboard around the mass canister from long handrail to long handrail.
Okay, copy that. After I cover the color bolt area MLI, I will
Can I work on that MLI, Koichi?
Oh, can you work on that?
Yeah, because I'm going to pop out here. So, Zena, I think I'm going to get that, both of those wire ties, once I'm allowed to translate on the strut. Be able to get to that MLI a little better.
Affirm, Duke.
Okay, so I believe I'm going to pop out and go grab my square tube.
Koichi Wakata has been working on the left mid-strut collar. Work is complete on that, and now he's making his way over to the right mid-strut to do similar work.
So our indicator is still good, right?
Once you go, because you better go outside of that triangle behind you.
Right, I'm going to go around here.
Are you going outside the triangle?
I am going on the other side of the BGA.
Okay, so you're not going like you did last time?
I think I have to go around.
Okay, if you are, then that will take care of your safety tether once you go down and around.
Right, then it should be good.
Yeah, affirm.
I think now it's clear, right?
We do have you going outboard around the mass canister.
Okay, I'm going around.
Zena, can you confirm that I can egress the APFR?
Affirm, Duke.
And there we have NASA astronaut Nicole Mann in view, nicely lit as we enter an orbital daytime. You can see by looking at her feet that she's egressed or gotten off of her portable foot restraint that was keeping her in place as she assisted Koichi Wakata when he was working on the installation of the mid-strut. She's now moving on to other tasks. She's making her way over to the cable bag. It was originally taken out of the airlock and stowed temporarily until they needed it, and that time is now. So she's going to work on some cable routing while Koichi Wakata works on the right side of the mid-strut collar. He'd already worked to tighten and rigidize the left side.
Okay, so Koichi, for your essay, I'm going to be on top of your station setter out here.
Okay. All right. Okay, Tina. I had a temporarily O2 use high message and disappeared.
Copy. Checking, Koichi. Koichi, we're looking into it some more. We think it may have been just a momentary spike, but we'll continue looking at the data. You're good to continue.
Okay. Copy that. I'm on the right side collar bolt.
Stand by, Koichi. We'll have you hold right where you are.
Okay, holding. Good, Duke.
I'm just straight at the scoop, and now I'm coming around.
All right. I'm just holding on the right side collar bolt.
They're looking into your suit. Copy.
We're with you guys. We're analyzing some EDAR data for you, Koichi. We'll have you just hang out there for a moment.
Copy.
Koichi, can we get a glove inspection, a very thorough glove inspection? Just make sure that there's no damage to your glove.
Yeah, gloves, good. Looks good to me.
Okay, copy, Koichi. Let's have you look in between all of your fingers, just a really thorough inspection. So kind of spread the fingers apart and really get in there.
Okay, fingers. Okay, they look good. There's a slight RTV feel on the left index finger, but that's just the RTV. Don't see any damages.
Copy, Koichi.
So, Koichi, unfortunately, that safety tether goes right through the path I need to get to the mass canister.
Add, you can go over it, right?
No, because it's kind of coming up. So I'm going to look and see. Maybe I can come outboard and then come around.
And then you need to get to the...
I need to get to the side pad, or if you drive those boats, although I'll be able to translate, so that might be a better option.
Right, okay. And I'd like to hang out there until I'm done with the color bolts.
Yeah, guys, we're still looking at some suit data, tracking your call about the safety tether. Duke, are you able to add a fair lead?
Yeah, well, I did a four-man here on 2235. I'm going to go outboard and see if I can figure something out.
Copy, Duke. We don't have video right now, so we're listening to your words. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Okay.
We're in a brief loss of signal. We've temporarily lost our video capabilities, but we expect to have them back very soon. Shortly before we lost video, Koichi Wakata was performing a glove check, looking really thoroughly between his fingers to see if he could see any damage.
Koichi, for you, we've been looking at the data. We're going to keep analyzing it. For now, we're good to have you continue with your tasks. And we'll be keeping an eye on the data, see if we find any additional spikes in that O2 use rate.
Okay. So, the color bolt on the right strap, mid-strap, is that right?
Affirm, yep. You'll be opening the MLI on the right mid-strut to reveal the collar bolts. And I'll have PGT settings for you when you're ready.
Okay, stand by.
And then Duke, for you, let us know if we can help you with any fair leading suggestions for the handrail or anything like that. We'll take your words on what path you wind up taking.
I got one here on 2108. I think that's going to work. I'm just going to try to test here.
Copy, Duke. And pretty sure I know the answer, but just to verify, that's Koichi's safety tether on 2108, Duke.
Affirm.
Okay, Zena, ready for PGT setting for color bolts on the right mid strut.
Okay, similar to before, we'll be doing Bravo 7 clockwise 2.
Okay, Bravo 7 set, clockwise 2 set. How many turns?
This will be about 4 to 6 turns on M25 and M26.
Okay, 4 to 6 turns.
No, I think I'm getting myself in a bad spot here, Zena. I'm going to back out and try a different way.
A few minutes ago, Koichi Wakata was working on the right mid-strut collar, part of his tasks for the day, where he noticed a brief spike in his O2 data. He relayed this information to the ground, and we paused all activity as ground teams investigated what the cause could be. He did a thorough glove check, and his levels had gone down right away. So during this pause and after some evaluation, our team decided that now that we are back at normal levels and it was a brief spike and the glove check was good, we're going to continue on, but teams are going to continue to monitor the situation.
Stand by, Duke. Okay, guys, back with you after a quick handover. And Duke, affirm, you can translate in order to do the safety tether routing that you mentioned.
So can I use that handrail on the mid-strut
Affirm, Duke.
to put on the wire ties, or do I need to wait? Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, for color bolt, got a green light and torqued out 25.0 foot-pounds, and then 4.5 turns.
Copy, 4.5 turns, 25.0 on the torque for M25 and M26. You'll be setting your PGT to manual ratchet clockwise now.
Copy. And your ratchet set clockwise.
Perfect. And now you'll be driving M25 and M26 until you get 2 MTL pops. Just let us know any additional turns you get.
Copy.
Koichi Wakata now finishing up tightening the collar on the right mid-strut. You can see him at the very top of your screen, while towards the bottom, NASA astronaut Nicole Mann is working on some multi-layer insulation.
Duke, we lost your HECA for a moment. If you can hit the power button and turn it back on, that would be helpful.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I got a good green light for the HECA.
Copy, Duke. It'll take us a minute to get it back.
Just working on my first wire tie here.
Copy.
We've momentarily lost HECA views from Nicole Mann. This is the point of view cameras that you've been seeing in our coverage from time to time. She did a simple power cycle to get those back on, and we're going to see if the solution worked shortly.
Hey, Koichi, just watch your feet on the solar array there. We'll want to get you in a good body position so that your feet aren't close to contacting.
Okay. Copy that. I'll get lower.
Okay, I've got one wire tie down, just working on the second now.
Copy, Duke. Koichi, for you, body positioning-wise, it's helped to be basically on your back.
Right, that's why I started, and didn't have enough ability, so I...
Yeah, definitely understand. You can also put your feet on the lower strut, if that helps you brace yourself.
Oh, okay. Lower strut, okay. That's a good suggestion, thank you.
Koichi Wakata there at the top of your screen, finishing up work as he drives some bolts to tighten up everything on the right mid-strut collar. This is one of the final steps needed on this structure that they've been building for the past 2 spacewalks.
the ratchet point, Koichi?
Yes.
All right, let me know if I can, if you want me to come stabilize feet again.
I think I'll try this orientation, and if it doesn't work, I will ask your help.
Okay.
One pop, two pops.
Our point of view cameras are back from Nicole Mann. You can see her putting some wire ties around some multi-layer insulation, this sort of blanket that protects the hardware from the vacuum of space.
It's 3/4 of a turn.
Perfect. 3/4 of a turn, 2 pops on the upper collar bolt.
Work on the lower side collar bolt.
Okay, Zena, wire ties are in place. Do you want me to wait for the collar bolt before I translate for the cable?
Copy, Duke. You can translate on the mod kit at this point.
Okay, great. And I think I'll go get rid of this square scoop.
That was 1 pop on the lower collar bolt.
Copy, 1 of 2 pops on the lower collar bolt. And Duke, before you depart that area,
Second pop.
copy 2nd pop, Koichi. Duke will just have you do a final check of the MLI around those collar bolts, making sure that the MLI is snug and there's no gap around the collar bolts.
Okay, if it's okay with you, I'm going to drop this square scoop, and then when I come back to do the cables, I can tidy up the collar bolt MLI.
Copy, we're good with that. And Koichi,
Okay,
we copied 2 pops for you. Any additional turns on that bolt?
It's half turn.
Copy, half a turn. All right, Koichi, for you, you can set your PGT back to motor and stow it, and then close the MLI around those collar bolts M25 and M26. For both of you, you can translate on the mod kit now, and just make sure to minimize any loads on the mod kit and don't translate simultaneously, so deconflict your translations with each other.
Okay, I'm here doing the square scoop, so I won't be moving for a little bit, Koichi.
Okay, copy that. Not moving, I'm just folding the MLI.
And another check on their to-do list is complete at the 3-hour, 30-minute mark of the spacewalk. To recap some of the events that has happened today, they've been working on this mod kit that you see here. The cylindrical thing here is our mast cam, and then we've got this pyramid type structure. They built like 90% of it during their previous spacewalk back in January, but they wanted to take one more look at the lower strut, the gray that you see on the bottom of your screen, and totally installed this mid strut that you see. In the yellow, you can see the collar. So what they did was troubleshooted the lower strut, installed the mid strut after some troubleshooting with the team here in Mission Control, and tightens that yellow piece, the collar, to rigidize the whole structure to get it ready to be load bearing, or having a IROSA, or the Rollout solar array, launching this summer, sitting on it so it can be deployed. They've just wrapped up putting the multi-layer insulation, the sort of protective blanket back over it, and now they're going to get started on their new tasks. They've been together, these two spacewalkers, for most of the spacewalk, and they're getting ready to separate.
Correct, yep.
Nicole Mann is going to work on some cable routing. So this refers to connecting the new Rollout solar arrays with the legacy arrays. Of course, she's not going to actually install anything. We don't have our Irosa solar arrays there yet, but it does save time on a future spacewalk to have these cables already there routed. All they have to do is plug them in.
Can you see if this mid-strut or the color bolt analyze wrapped around the color bolt area?
It still needs to be, the top part is good, the bottom part needs to come up and around.
Bottom part, okay.
And once I get over there to my side, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
Duke, we see you.
Okay, how about now?
No, there's still a gap in the back, Koichi. Like the integrated ones that are coming up from the bottom, if you could pull them up.
Like that. It's as far as it can go up.
Yeah, but the one in your, grab it with your left hand, now pull that towards your head.
This one?
It needs to, like, be flattened out. Does that make sense?
I don't think it can go down, though. It's full up here.
The bottom flap still has a gap. So if you take the two integrated tether points,
okay,
and pull them apart from each other.
How about now? Oh, it's covering it, isn't it?
Well, maybe, I don't know, you can see in the head how much it needs to cover, but there's still a big gap in the back.
Duke, we can't see it in your HECA view, so we'll trust your words to work on that.
Okay, so Koichi, the bottom flap,
yeah,
that's the top flap you're touching now. Look at me. Do you see where my hand is?
Yes.
On the bottom flap?
This is it.
Pull them apart like this.
Uh-huh.
That way it's crunched up right now. So that one, yes. And then...
The other one?
Yeah, but you need to pull it. You see how I'm pulling these apart?
The other one I cannot reach.
Your right thumb is touching it.
Did you see any?
Yeah, your right thumb is keep touching it. That's it. Yeah, that's the one you're touching. Yep, that's it. So pull that towards your right.
I cannot touch it. I cannot grab it. Is it still to my right?
It's on top of your thumb now. It's just kind of springing away from you. If you can come up a little higher, I think you'll be able to.
Okay, now I see it.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
Is that good?
No, it needs to come to your right. Like, spread them apart.
To my right? How about that?
And that one, okay, don't move. Oh, don't move. The one in your left hand.
Okay.
The one that was in your left hand needs to go station outboard.
Which one? This one?
No, if you reach with your left hand, the one you previously had.
This one?
Yeah.
Left hand is this one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this one. Okay.
Yes. Put it in your right hand.
Right hand.
And then station outboard.
Okay, copy that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it needs to come down on the other side of the collar board. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I have to grab it.
Some teamwork going on outside of the International Space Station to get this multi-layer insulation, this protective blanket around the structure that they just built.
It's looks good.
Covered?
Yeah.
So we know that after this multi-layer insulation is reinstalled, Nicole Mann is going to make her way over to some cable routing. Meanwhile, Koichi Wakata is going to work on getting a new portable foot restraint.
Hold it. Now go station outboard with it.
There are a couple of these outside of the International Space Station, and the one that they had been using has been having some trouble with the pitch knob.
When you route the integrated wire tie. Yeah, go outboard and up.
You can kind of think of these portable foot restraints kind of like a tripod. You have your pitch and you have your yaw. Those are the different directions that you're able to move. And it's the pitch that they were having trouble with. It's not totally unusable. They can use it again, but they prefer to use one that's a little more smooth for future EVAs. So Koichi Wakata is going to go take the sticky one and replace it with one that works a little bit better.
Now it looks like the top side of that, so the side that's closest to your head now, has kind of a wrinkle, a fold in it. If you can straighten that out, that may help cover more of the metal.
I recommend you pull up on the top flap.
Okay.
And straighten it all out.
All right. Let me move it up.
Pull it away from the, undo it, and pull it away and straighten it out. But then I think you'll have a better luck at getting it around.
So this is, I put it out and then it doesn't rotate anymore. So is it better now? Is it better now?
Can you see my left hand, Koichi?
Yeah, I see it.
Take the flap and bring it up like this.
Yeah.
Undo it so that you got to get everything straightened out. It's like a jumbled mess.
And yeah, Koichi, for you, since you can translate on the mod kit now, you can also move up and try to get up and over so that you're looking down on the MLI. Maybe you'll be able to get a better view of what you're doing there.
Okay, copy that. I'll move it around.
Yeah, sorry I'm not doing a better job explaining.
Oh, that's all right. I'll just come up and then try to see if I can adjust it.
Okay, Zena, I'm going to continue with the cable routing.
You can see Nicole Mann at the bottom of your screen working on routing cables.
Yeah, Duke, now I know what you mean.
Flattening it out, yeah.
Just like here on Earth, we want to have nice and tidy cables, so she's working to get rid of any slack and use wire ties to kind of keep everything together and neat.
Koichi, for you, your plus is close to the solar array, so just watch that body position there.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's kind of contacting part of the solar array, so you'll want to move further toward the mounting bracket.
Copy that. Yeah, Duke, I think on the high side I cannot get there. And then
the top part looks good. It's not just the bottom flap that needs to be flattened out. It'd be from underneath.
Right, and somehow on the left side too, the middle is kind of open, but I think we cannot avoid it, right?
Give me a second. So, Dean, I got my safety tether pack tangled here on the APFR. I'm working on this.
Copy, Duke. Koichi, if it helps, let's have you add the long wire tie around that MLI and see if we can cinch it shut with the wire tie. So that's the long wire tie that would be used for the FHRC strut tiebacks.
Okay. I'll try that. And then, Duke, is there still opening here? On this side? How much of the opening?
It's about a 6-inch hole. So the bottom flap is not doing its job. Oh, that was actually really good. Yeah, now if you can squish it together. Yes, you got it. Wonderful.
Is it now closed?
Yes.
Okay. All right, looks good.
Now, you got to tighten down the tires. When you let go, it pops open a little bit.
How about now?
Give me a second.
Yeah, the other side I cannot see. You're close. So that side, in the middle, there's an opening, but so it cannot be completely covered. You know what I mean? It comes out. It opens up.
Okay, let me take a look.
Koichi, we'll have you actually start routing the cables, and then once we have those cables routed, we'll come back to the MLI.
Okay. Okay. Copy that.
This one looks closed up here to me. Might come from the inside. I think this one is good.
Yeah, now it's good. Now it's looking good.
Okay.
Yeah, we see that in your HECA as well, Duke.
You can see Koichi Wakata at the top of the screen now has cables in his hands. He was working on closing the multi-layer insulation around this structure. He got it pretty good, had a couple of issues just fully closing this last piece he was working on. But he's going to come back to that and for the moment help Nicole Mann with the cable routing.
Okay, 3 twists on the handrail on the mid strut.
And Koichi, for your awareness, your HECA and the helmet assembly is loose. Of course, it's still held on with the straps, but just so you know, it's going to be a little bit wobbly.
Okay. Copy. So on the long handrail, there's no wire tie, so I need to use the wire tie on the cable, right?
Yeah.
Affirm, Koichi.
Copy that.
You can see it in work now, wrapping these wire ties around this bundle of cables, keeping everything organized.
Okay, got 3 twists for the cable to the mid-lift.
Copy, Duke.
And on the Xena, on the long strut, do I need to put it on the station, or can I just do 3 twists around the handrail?
On the handrail is fine.
Handrail, okay, copy that.
And Duke,
We're in a brief handover period. The International Space Station has a number of ways to communicate with the ground, primarily through the Tracking and Data Relay, or TDRS satellites. When the space station's antennas lose sight of one of them, it creates a loss of signal like we're in now. But TDRS is a constellation of satellites, meaning there are several of these communication satellites in orbit, and it doesn't take long to connect with another one, so we should have audio and video back shortly, and these outages are planned, and we know when they're going to happen.
Opposite side to pick up your TBA bag.
Okay, after Duke translates, I will translate to the opposite side.
Copy, Koichi. And actually, before you depart, Koichi, we'll have you install that wire tie around the MLI.
Okay, so long wire tie?
Indeed, the long wire tie around the MLI, and just make sure that we have all of those gaps closed up.
Copy that.
Okay, I have to reach width to the vertical handrail.
Copy, Duke.
Okay, I believe my next step is it'll get, am I going to get the other cables?
Duke, first we'll have you guys both working together to do a HECA scan of the final ModKit MLI config, and just make sure that all of those gaps are closed, especially after Koichi installs a wire tie around his.
Okay.
Copy that.
Do you have my HECA now?
We're getting video back. Standby 1. Okay, Duke, we do have your HECA back. We're ready for that scan. We've got about 30 seconds of video remaining until I hand over. Okay, and Koichi, we'll also get your eyes on Duke's side, and if it looks good to you, we may have Duke head out to 1 Bravo.
Okay. Let me check that.
Is he good to you?
All right.
So I do see a pit pin that is not attached to anything. I think all pit pins should be attached, right? You know? I feel it may be the locking pit pin on the right side.
Affirm, yeah, all of those pit pins should be installed. Do you think it's the locking pit pin for the telescoping feature of the mid-strut?
Zena, you're coming in, Choppy.
We've got about 2 minutes of ratty comms here, guys.
Nicole Mann noted that she found a spare pit pin. Meanwhile, here in Mission Control, they've noted that all the pit pins do indeed need to be installed onto this mod kit that they've been working on. So we're trying to find a place for it.
Let me work on that.
Crew, if you can hear, we've got about 2 minutes of ratty comm.
Okay, I I've got your back, and I did not copy your last concerning the pit pin.
Yeah, A-firm, Radicom's here. We've got a minute remaining. A-firm, all pit pins should be installed. Did you think that was the locking pit pin for the telescoping feature of the mid-strut?
That's what I think it is on the right side.
Okay, guys, in order to reinstall the pit pin, we'll need to open the MLI again. Koichi, you can pause on the wire tie for now.
I missed that call.
Radicom, hand over here.
As we work to get our communication back and our live views here shortly, a little update on what tasks have been done or what are still to come. Nicole Mann successfully routed cables at the 1A power channel. That's where they've been working this whole time.
You. Hopefully comms should be a little less rowdy.
Zena Cardman's about to give an update.
Koichi, we'll have you pause with the wire tie ops for now, and Duke, you'll head to 1 Bravo.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Okay, I'm headed to 1 Bravo.
Perfect. We'll also take a glove, hat, and gauntlet check from you both.
Okay, I have the long wire tie ready to go.
Copy.
So where you see them now, they're at the 1A power channel.
For EV1, half is dry and gauntlets are down.
Okay, EV2, gloves are good, half is dry, and gauntlets in place.
Okay, copy EV1 and EV2. So Duke will be having you grab the cable bag and heading out to 1 Bravo. Koichi, you'll be working all of the MLI stuff here. In order to reinstall that pit pin that Duke saw not installed, this is the locking pit pin for the telescoping feature, you'll need to peel back the MLI a bit.
Okay, locking pit pin, did it come out?
I think we just missed installing it.
Not installed.
Okay, so that's could you tell me where it is?
It is floating. Station inboard of the collar bolts directly opposite of you.
It's on this
Mass
side?
canister side.
Okay.
I think you'll have to peel back the MLI.
Peel back this MLI?
Yeah, I will peel open the top and the bottom, and then you'll be able to see it.
That's correct. And Duke, we'd like you moving out to 1 Bravo, so we'll have you translate.
I'm just picking up the...
Copy.
And I'm just picking up the cables, not the whole bag, right?
Okay.
That's correct. You're translating to the cable bag, picking up the 1 Bravo cables, and heading out to 1 Bravo.
You can see Koichi Wakata on the right side of your screen. That is his point of view. Nicole Mann identified a pit pin that had not been installed into the structure. So Koichi Wakata is undoing these levels of multi-layer insulation to be able to place the pit pin.
Copy. And yeah, that lanyard will probably be at full extension.
But I think right.
And if you need to peel back more of the MLI, let us know. If you can do a washer check also on that pit pin before you install it, just make sure that the washer is over the detents.
Okay, washer is there. And the pit pin is in. You see that on the header?
Copy, Koichi. That looks good. We can close up that MLI again, and we'll work on the MLI wire tie install.
Okay. Okay. If this closes completely without the wire tie, that's also fine, right?
Indeed, Koichi.
Let me try that again. Okay. Let me try that.
Coming up now on the 4-hour mark of the spacewalk. During part 1 of this spacewalk, they completed installation of a mod kit on the 1B power channel, and today they were finishing up work on the 1A channel. Nicole Mann and Koichi Wakata successfully routed some cables around the 1A site, again where they've been spending the majority of their spacewalk. Nicole Mann is now making her way over to the 1B channel, where they spent their previous spacewalk, to route some cables there as well.
You still have can you see this MRI still?
I cannot at the moment.
Okay. All right.
I can try to come around now.
Looks like it's closed without the wire tie, but I just wanted to make sure that it's the case.
Copy, Koichi, and you can reorient yourself and get in any body position that you need in order to see the other side of the MLI there.
Yeah, I think if you poke your head inside the triangle and look out, there's a little gap, but I think you'll be able to fix it.
Okay.
And guys, big picture update for you. We're at PET of 4 hours on the nose. We're about 45 minutes down on the timeline right now. So we're going to be prioritizing doing those 1 Bravo cables that Duke is on her way out to do. We'll have a modified version of the APFR shuffle. We're still working that plan. And then we do still intend to grab the P6 APFR.
Copy that.
We've got plenty of PET time from a consumable standpoint. We're at about 7:45 there, just for your FYI.
Nice to know.
And Koichi's suit data's looking good? Gina, can you update us on Koichi's suit data?
It's exactly what we're talking right now. So after analyzing the data, it looks like it was just a blip in the sensor data, but we are happy with the suit. Good to continue.
You know, awesome.
Okay, good news, and my TCV is set to 6.
Copy, TCV 6.
Here on the ground, NASA astronaut Zena Cardman just gave a big picture overview of our spacewalk. She talked about the PET, or the phased elapsed time. This is the total time that they've been spacewalking with their suits on battery power, which is a little over 4 hours. With their remaining time, Nicole Mann is indeed going to continue routing cables at the 1B power channel. Koichi Wakata is indeed going to move the portable foot restraints around. Remember, one of them had a little bit of a sticky knob on that controlled the pitch function when moving around from side to side. They're working a plan now on how to go about that.
Without adding a wire tie, but let's make sure that it's the case.
Copy, great news. And
previously, Koichi Wakata noticed a spike in his O2 data. Ground teams here in Mission Control ran all of their data, looked at everything, including a suit check of Koichi. Wakata's suit, and they've been monitoring the data in the meantime. Xena Cardman did relay to the crew that they have seen no abnormalities again and are confident that it was just a little blip in the data.
Okay.
All right, Koichi. We are waiting on confirmation from all of the interested parties here, but we will have you do a HECA scan as well.
Okay. Okay. Let me check that. I don't know if you can see it. Oh.
I'm sorry, I cannot.
All right. That's all right.
Look at this cable, I can.
Okay, no problem. I will do the HECA scan now.
Copy, Koichi, and we will actually have you install that wire tie. We think we see a gap in the MLI.
All right, okay. 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 Looks like it's just not long enough. Then let me do the wire tie first. Do the HECA scan.
Yeah, we agree with that, Koichi. Let's get that wire tie on there, and then we'll have you head over to the mounting bracket for a better vantage point for your HECA scan.
Okay.
Okay, Xena, I have the cables, and I am headed out to 1 Bravo.
Copy, Duke. You'll be crossing the keel pin and the APFR going to the non-radiator side.
Okay, Gina,
and then outboard to S5, S6.
Gina, I put the wire tie 3 twists around the NLI.
Copy, Koichi. We see that in your HECA. So we'll have you head over to the mounting bracket, and we'll get a really good HECA scan.
Okay. Copy that.
Moving right down the to-do list here, you can see NASA astronaut Nicole Mann on the bottom of your screen. She's got the legs with the red stripes. She's holding a bundle of cables, and she's going to make her way out to the 1B power channel where she spent a lot of time in her previous spacewalk. She just routed the cables here at the work site that she's at, 1A, and now she's making her way over to 1B. The space station just experienced an orbital sunset. As you can just see, it just got a lot darker on your screen.
Gina, I'm at the mountain bracket.
Copy,
And
Koichi.
showing the upper side.
Great, we're taking a look.
Upper side looks good. Okay. All right. Okay. Like analyze covering everything.
Looking good, Koichi. Give us just a moment while everybody analyzes.
Okay.
Okay, Koichi, the upper triangle looks great. If we could have you dip below that mounting bracket and take a look at the mid-strut and try to get the mid-strut in your HECA view.
Copy. Copy that.
That's a good position. We're checking on the view, Koichi.
Okay.
Sorry, you know, I'm held up here. I'm just fighting with this bundle coming apart here.
Copy, Duke. Take the time that you need to get everything in a good config. Minimize the snag hazards.
Yeah.
And do what works best for you, but you can also put that cable bundle around your BRT and help tend it toward your body.
Yeah, so I've got my strips in my BRT, then I run them around the BRT, but top bundle flopped off, so I'm trying to adjust that now.
No problem, Duke. Koichi, let's have you take a look at the left side mid-strut.
Okay, I'm pointing at the left side.
All right, a little further left with your pan there, Koichi. We'll take one last look.
Okay, a little further left. Okay.
A little bit further so that we can see the full left side in your HECA view. That's better.
Okay. We need to go any further?
All right, Koichi, we're happy with that HECA scan. And with that, you can head back around the mass canister, and you'll be picking up the TBA bag from the long handrail.
Copy that.
On the left of your screen, you can see the point of view of NASA astronaut Nicole Mann.
Hopefully, I am headed out.
She's got a bunch of cables in her hands, and she's making her way to the 1B work site for some cable routing.
Okay. So, I just wanted to double check with you that this NRI that I attached, it covers the one alpha cable as well. It's okay, right?
Checking, Koichi. Yeah, Koichi, we're good with that config.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Then I'm going to translate to the TBA bag and stow it.
Perfect. Yep, you'll be picking up that TBA bag, bringing it to the cable bag, and stowing it.
Copy.
I'm at handrail 2125. I'm going to take a right-hand turn.
Copy, right-hand turn at 2125.
2138.
2138. We'll be following along. (2138) is a good handrail. We track you going over the A-frame to the non-radiator side.
Copy. Okay, I am over, and now I'm at it, making a left turn headed outward.